Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Say hello if you're here. I see you. I see somebody. Just getting myself prepared here. Gotta turn this down. All right. Hi, guys. If you're just coming in, I just went live, late as usual. But you know me by now. There's Linda and Belinda. It's early there. What time is it there, Linda? I know it's really early. That's why I wait as long as I can to do these as late as I can because of my Aussie crew. And I have, of course, I have two of the three of you guys. Hi, Shelly. Are in Australia, right? 8:22. Okay, so that's not an ungodly hour. That's good. That's not too bad. But that's, yeah. I mean, if given my way, I like to sleep in a little later. Who else is here? I see, do we have some lurkers? Or we have everybody here just to be here in color? There's Lulu. Hi, Lulu. I heard you weren't feeling that great. I hope you're feeling better. Hi, Kimmy. Dee Dee. Okay, so people are starting to roll in a little bit. So thank you for coming tonight. I know this is like not a scheduled event, but I feel badly when I end up babbling and then things take me too long. Hi, Marie. So I just decided when I was sitting in on Belinda's live stream, I just decided, oh, good, Lulu. I just decided that I really need to finish this because she also ran out of time on hers and she went and finished hers last night, which I don't know if you guys saw her version of my Sleeping Sea Beauty, but it came out so beautiful with the watercolors. It was amazing. So anyway, so I just decided, okay, you know, last time around in February, I was like feeling bad that some of you wanted to see more from the image that I did back then. And I feel badly that I couldn't be there and do more. I just didn't have the time planned. And I actually did plan to at some point do more. And then this whole virus thing hit and kind of threw us all through for a loop. So yay, there are people here. Good. And thank you for coming like kind of last minute. So this wasn't really very well planned. This was just sort of a last minute little add-on. And hi, Kayla. And I figured I would just do the best that I can in a short period of time to try to get this page looking more polished like this one for those of you that are interested in seeing that. Because I know that some of you guys really wanted to do this on your page. What time is it where you guys are? Hi, Catherine. So right now, for me, it's 6:25 p.m. And we're going to have a late dinner tonight. I somehow got my husband to cook again tonight so I could do this. I told him last night that I was going to do this. And I promised that I would cook tomorrow night. So I'm not doing anything art related tomorrow night. 6:20. So you're in my time zone, Abby. I knew that. Yep. Kimmy's on Michigan time. Hi, Rain. Hi, guys. Oh, I'm so glad so many of you are here. This is so cool because it was sort of, you know, last minute. I know. That's so weird that it's Wednesday there. And it is in the UK. Is it in the UK? No, maybe it's not in the UK as well. I know. And I know the funny thing is I'm learning a little bit more about the time zones because of this whole coloring world. But hi, Mona. But my friends who live in the Philippines, they are on the complete opposite schedule from us. And that one I always remember because I think if it's 9 a.m. here, it means it's 9 p.m. there. which is kind of nuts to think about. And I know so many people want to be a part of my lives, and I don't go on that often. So I do what I can to try to accommodate. I know it's hard, but at least we can watch replays, right? And I am not so good early in the morning. I'm much better in the evening. All right, guys. So since we have a few people here already, how many of you guys are ready to start? Do you want me to get going on this, or should we chat for a few? I figure it's probably going to take me like a half hour to get this really looking smooth and polished. Belinda, start. Just do it, Jen. Stop talking. Okay. All right. Say no more. So I'm trying to see where we left off and where the best place to start would be. But last time we did get in most of our basic colors in the designated areas. We really did. The only thing that I'm seeing is, and this is something that I said last time as well, that if you get frustrated while you're working on this, don't, because it usually just means that you're not done. So if you're not done, continue. A lot of times it takes so many layers before something starts looking smooth. So you might, especially with paper like this paper here, which is a little bit toothy, it has that grip to it, things need a little bit more extra blending, a little bit more extra polish time. So that will definitely help. So the more layers you can add, the better. I could even spend more time smoothing this out even more. I could spend tons of time doing it. I get frustrated and I get impatient, and that's just, you know, to a certain degree. I do have coloring friends who smooth everything out to a point where it's like perfect. And I don't think I have the patience to do it quite like that. But anyway, but we're going to get this definitely more polished looking. Okay. Oh no, what happened? Your packages are coming late. I think it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I ordered a mask online, just a cloth mask that somebody actually made on Etsy. And she sent it out to me. I ordered it on April 15th, and she sent it out to me, I think, like by the 17th. It just came today. I mean, that's crazy. And she's in the US. It's not like it's far. So who knows? But it is what it is. You know, I get it. There are people who are down health-wise, and it does take a toll. But the weird thing is that it's been in Michigan since like the 19th or 20th. How do you know when it's finished? You know what? It's to each his own. That's when you know when it's finished. If you really want to go for that extra polish, and if you really want to spend extra time really smoothing things. Like if you look up close here at some of these little areas, let me see if I can zoom in without messing stuff up. If you look at some of these spaces, you can still see, you know, my pencil marks. It depends on if that bothers you or not. If it bothers you, then my suggestion is either you use a blender and you blend. So let's blend a little, see if it makes a difference. Or you go in with some of your lighter colors. Zoom out just a little bit. Thanks, Abby. You zoom out and we're gonna get in here. But I could go in and really try to get some of this tooth to go away. And this is on the one that I considered finished, you guys. This isn't the one I did with you. So my point is, you could continue to blend these things for forever. It's up to you how finished you want it to be. I'm not that particular about that stuff, so. Oh no, Marie. Yeah, well, but then, you know, like if you buy, if it was a coloring book, like on Amazon, some of them have to be printed yet. So that will happen because they're POD. So that takes even more time. It's not like they just have it in the warehouse for some of them. So if you want to, you know, continue blending and blend it even more. But at this point here where I'm looking at this one, I think that this one needs, like, you know, more polish, more color in general. So let's do that. So I'm going to go back in right now, if you guys started working on this with me before, with my 133, which is cobalt blue, and I'm just going to add a little bit more in between these colors here. Why not? Okay. Yeah, I think everything is pushed back a little bit. It's just the nature of the beast right now. It just is what it is. Okay, and then something that you might have a hard time with is you can't get colors intense enough. You can't get them bright enough. Well, there are a few ways around that. There are a few things that you can do. One of them is not blending so much. Sometimes if you do blend too much, your colors will get actually dulled. But that is one thing that will help if you leave separate areas of color. So if I did go back in and I took my 992, and if I wanted to really have some of this color stand out, I would hit it without blending it into the rest of it. So you just see that part a little bit better. Hi, Michelle. I know. You know what? When we were sitting in Belinda's the other night, and she was not finished, I was like, I didn't finish mine either, and I feel bad because like this is the story of my life. So I just decided, let's do it. Let's finish it. And I hope that people who, I know there were a couple people that were talking about Lisa Matrakin's stream. She's got one tonight, and I talked to her earlier, and hers doesn't go until 7:30, which I was just trying to avoid, you know, overlapping while we're doing mermaid stuff. But I know that hers wasn't necessarily mermaid, so. But you will still make hers. I won't be here taking up that much of your time if you're going to that one. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 920 and I'm just going to intensify a little bit more. I'm going to talk to you about something else that you can do to intensify. And I am building these layers up a little at a time. I'm just kind of flecking them a little bit, or flicking them a little bit, so I'm not quite blending them. And that's going to leave those strokes intact, so you will see them from a distance and it will be more intense, okay, instead of totally blending it. Oh, Linda, thank you for coming out of your slumber to come and be with us. You guys are so good to me. You really are. I love these ladies. They really are the best. It's funny, a girlfriend of mine that I've known most of my life has been doing a little bit more art, and we always did stuff together, and she was watching in on one of the things, and I said, hey, maybe you should come in and mod with these ladies. You'd like them. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit more color here and there, nothing too crazy. And let's see, I'm just looking at my other one to see what I need to do to smooth it a little bit. So right here where I have the blue meets the pink, those are two colors that are almost opposite on the spectrum. So it's hard to make them blend unless you can put something in between them. So I will use just a little bit of white to kind of make it go a little bit more, make the gradation a little bit more natural, because it is hard to blend into those two colors. And what it's going to do is also going to plug up some of that tooth and brighten the intensity a little bit. I'm also going to add a little bit here just to brighten this intensity too. White on top of some of these lighter colors will help, and kind of going back and forth and adding more of the colors on top of the white will also help, because you're coloring on a gray paper, and that gray paper does actually dull the white a little bit. So here's my green again, what color is this? 920. So that way we can intensify it a little. And green right next to blue is okay, because those are close on the color wheel. So they will blend together a little more naturally. But you see how that little area just started to pop out a little bit more? It just kind of helped it a little bit. Okay, another area right here, green, where it's meeting that pink. If I want to refine that a little bit. Now I'm going to get into the very end of the tail as well. Just a sec. I'm trying to sharpen my stub. I should have looked for my other pencil while I might have to use my Lumi Forgive me, guys, because I know you can use your white Prismacolor pencil. I would actually prefer to use it for this, but that's okay. I don't feel like fighting with the sharpener right now. So right where the green I've put here meets that pink, I'm just smoothing it out a little bit. Because they are opposite colors. Or close to it. All right. So we getting there. All right, now I'm just gonna finish up. This is looking a little grainy over here, so I'm just gonna add another layer. Remember, if it doesn't look finished, you're not finished. And I'm using my stub of 903, and I'm just gonna get in here and intensify that a little and plug up with a super sharp pencil. Plug up some of that tooth and add the intensity all at the same time. Yeah, I'm so glad so many of you guys could make it tonight. It's so like last minute and random. And I know I don't do this that often. All right, and I also want to intensify this area behind her here like I did in my other version. So I'm adding a little more white. And then I'm going to add some more of my turquoise and some more of my green. Sharpening my pencils a little here. The sharpener? Yeah, I wish that they sold this in the US. I really do. They used to. They just don't anymore. It works really well though, doesn't it? You guys see how sharp it gets my pencils? Now I do have a T-Gall sharpener too, which I also recommend, but it's just not, sometimes the T-Gall sharpener really actually over sharpens my pencils and then they start to crumble when I first start to draw. This one doesn't do that quite as bad. Just adding a little more color here, you guys, because I just didn't add it all. And maybe eventually at some point I'll finish this page because I have so many unfinished pages, it's ridiculous. And just smoothing this out a little bit. It's bothering me. And this color looks really intense down here because I had white and green down, and now I just added this 903 blue. And you can see how much it's actually intensified it. So it's starting to look more like the one that I originally showed you. Okay, I think that looks good. All right, so let's move on for the time being, and we're gonna get on and work on the tail, okay? So we'll start working on this part to really bring it up to this level as much as we can in a short period of time, okay? So do you see all the grittiness, the graininess in here that you don't see here? That's because of all the layers. It's because there's so many layers on this paper. And, oh, thanks, Abby. There's so many layers, and you just have to keep on adding layers. It's not magic. There's no quick fix. You just got to do the work. That's how you're going to get it to look the way you want it to look. And what's really interesting is, if you look in here, you see like purple, or I should say lavender colors, and I didn't use a lavender pencil. So these colors here are a result of my blending like my neon pink with probably the 903. So, or maybe the turquoise, and it just happens after a while. So I'm gonna start darkening some of those areas here, adding a little bit more pink into the spots that I still have gray paper. I might even add a little bit of white in there too, just to cover up some of it. So let's start with that. How's everybody doing tonight? Was it hard to get back into the week, the work week? People go back to work, or at least back to working from home. My kids started their homeschooling again today, and they had a lot of work. A lot. I'm just adding a little bit of white, not too much. And now I'm going to go back in here, and I'm going over this with my 1038, which is my neon pink. it's really hard for them, especially if you have a kid who doesn't work real well on their own, who, you know, does much better in a traditional classroom with other people and the support of teachers. It's really hard. And when it comes to sort of the Common Core, Michelle, she's talking about uh, the laws that have been put into place as far as what needs to be taught and everything, and Common Core and math, and what we are supposed to be teaching our kids and the way that we're supposed to teach them. And, you know, like if you learned back when I learned carrying your numbers for math and crossing out numbers and that whole bit, like they don't do stuff like that anymore. So I confuse my kids and they look at me like I'm crazy when I try to teach them math. And I am actually certified to teach math up to, I think, 8th grade, which is scary. Scary that I have that certification, because I would never want to teach that to 8th graders, because I do not consider myself a math person at all. I am very right-brained. Okay, sorry. So this is my 932 Violet. I didn't say that. And what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going into these darker spots, and I'm just slightly going over them to get rid of that tooth, to fill them in a little bit. And this is really going to blend everything together. Hi, Isolina. I didn't even see you here. Yeah, do what you got to do. Hi, guys, for anybody who's just joining us. There's Aim. That's my friend Amy. Hi, Aim. Can I tell the story, Aim, about your self-portrait? So, so I can embarrass her. So my poor friend Amy. So I have known Amy. All right, so this is a great story for you. I've known Amy since we were in kindergarten. And we've known each other since that time because I was one of those klutzy kids who couldn't do anything myself, and I didn't know how to tie my shoes. And so Amy in kindergarten saw that I was struggling to tie my shoe and came up to me, and she tied my shoe for me. And that's how we met. So I have known Amy since she tied my shoe for me. And it was in Mrs. Lewis's class. I can't even remember the teacher. And since then, you know, we've been in touch all these years. So Amy is also one of the more coordinated friends I have. She used to be in ice skating shows and stuff like that. And I was the kid who, you know, we lived around the block from one another. And I was the kid who was always, you know, riding the big wheel. She was on a 2-wheeler already. I was on a big wheel because I didn't have the balance and coordination that Amy had. So that is the story. There's lots of other stories, but that is, you know, from the time that we met. But anyhow, I have to just tell you this story about Amy. So, and this, I feel so bad about this. So, and for years, I've felt bad. So we took an art class together in high school, and we were assigned to do self-portraits. And Amy was the only kid in our entire class who decided to take the challenge upon herself to try to do her self-portrait smiling. Okay? Hi, Kenny. Smiling. And the only one out of the entire class. And she did an amazing job on this self-portrait. She had to look in a mirror every day and sit there all hours smiling at herself while we drew this. I don't even know how many class periods it took us to do this self-portrait. But so she did this amazing job of a smiling self-portrait. I mean, I was a person who was really into art way back then, and I didn't even try to do it smiling, but she did. And she did such a good job. Weeks, it took weeks. Okay. She did such a good job. And we came back to school one day, maybe, I don't know if it was over a weekend or what it was. Somebody stole her self-portrait. Somebody stole it. And she was devastated. You cried, right, Aim? It was horrible. Like, you know. So since then, I think she struggled with, you know, putting so much effort into anything, not wanting to do art. And I'm so happy. I actually spoke to her on the phone today. It's been a while since we talked. She lives, you know, across the country from me now. But she hadn't really done any art. And I think ever since that happened, she was, you know, broken from it because somebody stole it. It was probably a secret admirer or someone. She's a very beautiful girl. And so now as an adult, she has decided that she wants, they put everybody else's up, but yours wasn't put up. Poor Aim. I don't even remember. You remember it because it was so important to you. Oh my gosh. But so she never quite got over that. And it's been hard on her. So she just, you know, didn't do anything again. And now with, you know, the advent of adult coloring, she's always been curious. And I know, Abby. We talk about it all the time. It's so funny. One of those things you just never get over. We talk about it all the time, but she is now doing her art stuff, and she's here because she wants to do more coloring, and she's learning. So I'm so proud of her that she's taking it on again. Yeah, my poor girl. This is 903. Sorry, I haven't been telling you, or maybe I did, and I just haven't switched colors. So yeah, so she's back and she's getting back into it. So I'm so glad she's joining these streams. She actually posed for me for my first portrait book, Glamourista. She is the girl in Glamourista that has a scarf around her head and she's driving in a convertible. That's Amy. She posed for me for that. And actually, another one too, I used a picture that I had taken of her as reference for what was that? My like flapper. She was a flapper. Oh, I'm looking at your messages right now. Hold on a sec. Yes, Mother of Pearl will work with gray tone paper. Yep. It will work with tan too. Yeah, Kenny, so she's back. It just made me happy to hear that she's doing that because she was really good. It was really good. It is so hard to draw teeth, okay? I guess I try to avoid it, and sometimes it just looks awkward, so I avoid it because of that reason, but she did such a good job, and then gone, missing, never saw it again. So people are mean. What can I say? All right, so this is starting to take a little bit more shape. I'm going to just continue on. I'm going to add some blues in here to blend my turquoise and my purples a little bit. Ah, that's okay. Isolina, that's okay. Definitely. Like, just go with it. I know it's really weird at first, but you know what? This is something, so when I was in art school, we used tone paper, but we used charcoal on toned charcoal paper. So it's a little different. This is a smoother surface, but you work back and forth with your pencil. So it works a little bit differently. You want to add your lights and your darks in kind of at the beginning so that you know just where to lay it out. That's helpful. Otherwise, it's just gray paper and it's not really doing much for you. The other thing about it is I like to use the gray for things that I'm going to do that are more cooler colors, because the gray will kind of act as a cool color. This gray it's a neutral gray, but like the tone tan is a warm color, so it will stand out against the cooler color. So if you want it to blend more, it's definitely helpful. Okay. Looking good. All right, so now I'm going to add a little bit of definition here. Did you see this? I don't know if you saw the sparkle demo, so I'll do some more sparkles on here because I felt like I didn't do a good enough job showing you guys that. So I'll do that. And I'm just going through with this blue and just with a sharp pencil. That's, I can't stress that enough because you're going to get into the tooth that way. So, and you got to plug up that tooth to get the smoothness. And it doesn't have to be overly smooth, but it definitely helps to refine the look. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of contrast here. I didn't put any white here before, so I'm going to add a little bit now, because this is basically the edge of her fin, and I probably should have added a little bit more white in the beginning here, but I didn't. This is the edge of her fin here, and it would be catching light most likely. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some reflections go all the way across here. Now, technically it would probably be blocked by the top part of her tail, but just for the effect of making it look reflective, I am going to add some stuff in there. I mean, there could be some reflected light coming off the shell or off the water under her tail too, in reality, but who knows? I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit because I don't want to be out of the frame. I know I looked back at that video the other day, you guys, and I was out of the frame for like 3 minutes. That was not good. I didn't even realize. And Linda's like, Jen, you're out of the frame. You're out of the frame. And I was so busy talking that I didn't even notice it. So thank you for keeping me in line, Linda. I am adding a couple little bits with my Ultramarine 902 just to define these little lines in here that I have drawn for you in the actual picture. And every time I go over these things over again, it's plugging up that tooth so it'll look better. Yeah, it does. Just the little bits. And I'm going to show you how to do that part too. Okay, just comparing here to see what I can do to make it look more like this for you guys. I also added a little bit over here on my other one. So I'm going to do that here too, just because, for consistency's sake. And I'm going to try to keep my dark areas in the same basic spot. I think that looks pretty good. All right, now I need to start refining this a little bit more, adding a little more white, a little bit more pink. So here's my white. You guys can use your Prisma. Aw, thanks, Kenny. You're so sweet. I hope that you enjoy it all, and that you find, if you have the technique books and the coloring books. I have not done a book in a while. Somebody was asking and I forgot to answer them the other night, and I can't remember who was asking if I have books planned. You know, I've thought about doing some other books. I would really, really like to do like an artist edition book with really good paper. But right now, to do that and to print it would be difficult just because of what's going on in the world. You know, with all the businesses kind of being out. Okay, going back into my 1038 here, my neon pink. But I would really like to do that, and especially with all this grayscale. I have not tried doing a grayscale book on Amazon with their printing. I've not tried that. And some of my books have been printed by publishers, and some of them have been, you know, done by Amazon, and Amazon's paper is, you know, not everybody's favorite. So it's hard because it's really hard to do it on your own and to make sense of it. It's a big cost up front if you do it that way, unless you do not GoFundMe. I can't think of what it's called. Rain, you want artist edition books. I would love to do that. I would love to do that. I would love to take the grayscale pages that I've made and turn it into a big book. I think that would be cool. But print them on really good paper, you know, like thick cardstock. Because that's what they really should be printed on. Or print them on like tone tan or tone gray, one or the other. I know some other artists have done that. I don't know if it's gone well for them. I'm not sure. I don't know. But right now, with trying to print on my own, I think sorry, this is a $9.95 Mulberry. I think that would be difficult. Do digital. What do you mean, Belinda? Well, I mean, all these are digital. They're downloads, right? So you're saying print it digitally somewhere? I just would want to have my hand in on all the paper and everything if I'm going to make promises to people about quality, you know? Like, I want to see it. And I used to do graphic design work, and I used to work with a printer and go to the print runs and see and make sure that everything was being done correctly, you know? To make sure that it was up to par from a quality standpoint. I'm crazy like that. Linda and Kenny, you guys are so funny. You're so sweet. Hi, Lazzy. So I am just adding some more darks in here because I didn't get to add them all last time. This is really starting to come together. Make the book available as PDF as well as a physical book. Ah, I see what you're saying. You know, I thought about doing the whole, like my entire collection of grayscale pages, because I've done quite a few now, and maybe adding a few more and turning that into a book. I just don't want people to be upset who have already purchased a lot of it, because I imagine that's annoying. But yeah, I guess you could do that. Definitely something to consider. Aw, thanks, Aim. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a control freak when it comes to that kind of stuff, because I don't want to put something out there that I think is going to be garbage or look bad, and I want to have a say. Just because, you know, I mean, when you're selling products to people and you know people. Oh, she does she? Belinda? I didn't know that Christine did printed hard copies. I know she does her digital stuff. She's a sweetheart. I could probably talk to her about it. But, you know, I'm not willing to put my name on something that isn't right. So, and I know that a lot of people just want to get it out there. A lot of publishers just want to get stuff out there, and they don't necessarily understand, you know, that there are certain expectations by the coloring community. I didn't know the first time I published, you know, half of what I know now. So I learned a lot in a very short period of time. Okay, so now is the time. We've got this gritty, grainy looking surface here, and we need to turn it into polished and refined like this, right? And then glittery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by using my white pencil. Again, I'm going to sharpen it so it's super razor sharp. Like razor sharp. Okay. And I'm going to try to find the raised areas. So I can see one here, I can see one here, I can see one here. Those are the ones that I'm going to pick up first, and I'm going to sort of build up a couple others around it. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to concentrate most and put pressure most right here where I want this reflection to go basically across here. Sort of going at an angle like across here, if that makes sense, okay? So we're actually going to put like little reflections, little highlights and things in here too. And it's already 7. Another 15 minutes, guys, we'll be done. Okay, so here we go. So most pressure in the middle. I'm not putting too much right here just because we have to have a little shadow over here. So I'm leaving a little bit off. I'm just basically building up some layers of the white. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Lulu. I'm still waiting for paper. I ordered paper off of Amazon the end of last month, and they were supposed to send it to me by the 24th, and it didn't get here. And I just know, I'm like, where is my paper? And then it said, I just looked up and it said it might be lost in the mail. I'm like, really? So I had to fill out a form and have them try to resend it. So hopefully it'll get here soon. I'm out of paper. I mean, I have a little, but my kids have to print stuff. You know, we have lots of stuff going on. Okay, so now I'm going and doing some of these little ones too. So if you look at, you can kind of see where I went here. I'm trying to, I like my Prismacolor better for this stuff. Let me use my hack pencil. I'm gonna try that and see if that goes on better. I feel like it's a little bit, oh no, that was the end of that pencil. It's all gone. Now it's the real pencil. Oh. But I can eject the little point. Hopefully it'll eject. Don't you hate that? I wonder if I have, oh, now it's like really stuck in here. How did that happen? I wonder if I have another white one. Oh, shoot. Well, I wasn't anticipating this. Oh, well. Sorry, guys. It is really stuck in there, and it's the eject is not working. Belinda, you sent me a defective sharpener. Oh boy, and this one's breaking too. Give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna see if I have another white pencil. Oh. So now I'm pulling out my Big Mother set that I haven't really delved into yet because I have my pencils that have lasted me 30 years. And some fill-ins that I bought. Let's see if I can find a white one in here. Because they're backed up. Like Prismacolor is, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't have another white pencil. How is it possible? All right, well, I guess I'm just going to have to use my my Lumi, which sounds like I'm complaining. I love my luminance pencils, especially for skin tone, but I feel like maybe it's a little bit warmer. Using the Lumi. It just won't be quite as bright. I love my Prismas. I do like the Lumi white though. Oh, and this sharpener isn't working. I'm gonna have to grab my other sharpener now too. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna use this what was it? $9.95 again. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to use something to get my lead out of that pencil sharpener. It got really stuck. I don't know what happened. Yeah, stock up if you can, because some of it's hard to come by. Right now it's hard to get it in the mail. Hi, Emma. And I can't believe I don't have a spare. I thought for sure I did. I have other pencil sets, you guys. I have like 5 other sets of pencils. The Derwent Chinese white. Oh, I have that here. Good idea. Okay. Let me just grab my other sharpener. And I have the other sharpeners Belinda gave me too, but they're put away. I'll be right back. Thank you, Kenny. Kenny had a great suggestion. I'm using my Chinese white. I'm using my Chinese white. I think that this is good. This will be a better bet for this kind of a thing. Okay. Oh yeah, that's better. I love my Lumi white pencil, but I feel like for certain things, it just isn't as effective. My mom makes Chinese white 7200 Derwent drawing. This is a good pencil. And I bought this by accident. I didn't even know about it. Yeah, it's a good vibrant white. It's good, and it's a little harder too, which is kind of weird. Like it stays sharper. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and just sort of smooth these things out. Add that extra layer. Kenny knows our inventory. I know, that's so funny. And I am, you know, I have other pencil sets too I could pull out that probably have a good white in them too. I'm so used to my Prismas. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back into my hot pink, or my neon pink, and watch what I do here. I'm gonna feather this in here, all in about the same spot, and it's gonna brighten up this whole area. You see that, how that just did that? And it starts to make it look more reflective. I'm gonna do the same this way. And just get a little bit more pencil down, so I'm plugging up that that tooth. Doing the same up here, but I'm gonna leave a little bit of space over here because I want a little reflected light on the end over here. Having good pencils is half of the battle. If you have junky pencils, you're never going to get it to look the way you want it to look. However, that doesn't mean that you have to have a set of Lumis. You don't have to have a set of Lumis, as much as we love them. Okay, so now back to this color here, and I got my backup sharpener, my T-Gall. I have to go get the other ones that Belinda got for me. She actually got a few for me, but I have them tucked away. I didn't think I was going to need them. That eject button always works. Figures when I'm doing a live thing. So now I'm building up, just like I built up the whites over here, I'm building up this section of darks next to it. And the combination of these two areas next to one another is what makes it look reflective right here. You see that? And then when I go and I take my white, and I add it to the edge here, it's going to make that edge look reflective. Over here, it's going to make this edge look reflective. Okay. Thanks, Abby. I love doing this stuff. It's like hair. I love coloring hair. And now, since I did the warm part of her tail, and again, she's two-tone. She's like pink and turquoise, basically. Since I got the warm part in, I'm going to go and start approaching all the cool stuff on her tail. Real quick here. I'm going to grab my turquoise, or sorry, light aqua. You guys know how much I love this color. Isn't hair fun to color? I love coloring hair. I like drawing it too. I did not like drawing it when I was doing more of the computer-based art before I started doing all this hand-colored or hand-drawn stuff. It's really hard to do that on the computer. It just takes so much time. I have a few Pablos, but only a few. And I haven't really spent a lot of time with them. I probably should spend more time and figure out what else I like. I know people really love those. So now I'm blending up just a little so that it sort of flows from one to the other, okay? I'm going to add a little bit of this color on the underside of her tail. On the ends here. And down here as well. This is, by the way, you guys, like where I put the blues and the pinks and stuff, it really was very random. Isn't it cool to watch things transform like right before your eyes? Sometimes it just takes one color that sets it all off. And it's usually one of these colors. Like I love this color here. You guys know I use it all the time. It's probably in most of my my demos. Okay. And now the underside of her tail, which I kind of screwed up this drawing. This should have been where her tail ends right here. This little thing is part of the shell. I know some people probably didn't see that, but sometimes you notice as an artist, like, uh-oh, what'd I do? I kind of screwed that up. I should have drawn that better. I don't know why there's this little fleck here, but it shouldn't be there, so I apologize, you know, after the fact. You can cover it up, though. I do have the Black Widow skin tone set. I feel like they're interesting pencils. I don't think that they replace my other pencils. Thanks, Abby. I don't think that they replace my other pencils, but I think they're like a nice little addition to my other pencils. Okay, so now I'm going to start plugging in the darks and a little more turquoise and light here. So a little bit more of this light aqua, I call it turquoise. So it really is a turquoisey color. And you see how it kind of like sets that on fire in there. It really makes it pop. Watch when I do it here. See that? It just really makes it come to life. And I'm going to add a little white on top of it too, and that'll really make it pop. And then we are like getting close to being done. I just have to show you the last little bits with the sparkles and whatnot. You can see it's not that hard, right, guys? It's just a lot of steps. I don't think I could write a tutorial for this one. It's just too many steps. And people get frustrated when tutorials have too many steps anyway, in written form. I have a couple complicated ones in the Secrets of Coloring too. A couple, but I felt like they were easy enough people would get them. It just takes time to read through them. So this is my hot pink again, my neon. Well, I need visual too, Linda, but I'm good with if it's visual and there are written steps. Like I think some people do best when they have both. At least as a teacher, that's what I would try to do for my students because, hey, I know, and I have kids, my kids really are visual. One of them in particular is a total visual learner, and he needs that little bit extra. So I wouldn't even dream of not putting that in there. Hi, Selena. You'll get it. Give it some time. Oh, and here's the other thing too. Fresh set of eyes. Fresh set of eyes. Put it down, come back and look at it. Sometimes you don't see what you're doing wrong until you look at it a second time after you haven't looked at it for a while. All right, here I'm going to use my Parma Violet just to show you guys how this works because I didn't really have a chance to do it well with you the other day. Parma Violet 742.5 Verithin, okay? I like using these sometimes just to do a little bit of outlining. You don't have to do this, and you could use a Polychromo or a Crayola. I like using it because it's sharper, harder, and it's easier to get in here if I'm really trying to define something with a sharp edge. And these are relatively inexpensive, which is weird to me because Prismacolors are one of the pricier brands, but for some reason this line is not as pricey. I don't know why, if it's the amount of pigment that they use to produce them or what it is. And what you can do, the way that I like to use this, like for something like this, see how that just really defines it in the end? Makes it look nice and sharp. Kenny. What I like to do is if I'm doing like two-tone, I'll go in with another color too. So for example, I'm taking out this Peacock Blue. I can't get this sharp enough tonight. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for commenting and liking. I hope you're all subscribed to my channel now. So I'm going to go in here now with this color, even though this is Peacock Blue against the pink. It kind of looks cool against that opposing color. It gives it more of that iridescent effect. It helps to do that. Hi, UW Photo. I didn't even see you there. I saw your comments earlier on YouTube, and I tried to address them. So I feel bad, guys, because I am a little bit technologically challenged. And I have had some difficulty trying to get stuff going, and I've had a little bit of help from some helpful artist friends who are better off than I am. But I have a lot to learn still about like getting these videos up right. I want to get my camera set up the right way. So, oh, Kenny, that's so sweet. Oh, that you just made my day. I love that. I've been doing this for a long time, you guys. I just am not. I'm not a huge YouTuber. That's just not my MO. I spend more time doing art and trying to make pages. But I do like to do this every once in a while. I really do. And I love when it helps you guys. It does make me feel good. Oh, so anyway, so I was saying to UW Photo had said something about posting something ahead of time. I did try to post this video ahead of time. It's sort of worked. I have to figure a little bit more out. So bear with me. I promise it's going to get better and better. Ah, that's so funny. And the Pink Pearl, I did a written tutorial on that one, and that was my first one ever. That's what spawned my books. That's what spawned my Secrets of Coloring books. I did that tutorial, and it went viral. Like, people wanted that thing. I just did it as a free tutorial, just posted it and said, here you go, and people wanted it. So I'm glad. But to get back to that, yes, I'm working on getting stuff posted ahead of time. Sometimes some of this stuff has come up very last minute, so I haven't been able to post it. We did talk about the possibility of going live today in Belinda's YouTube live stream the other night. I should have posted it earlier today. I had other stuff going on today that kind of prevented me from doing that, but so I need to do better with that. So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Okay, so now I'm going to use this one too, Ultramarine. Do you guys see what the Verithins do? How they just kind of carve everything out and define it a little bit better? And they stay sharp for a really long time too. Okay, now I'm just going to add a couple little bits of information here. I'm almost done, you guys. I just have to go over the sparkles with you again. Aw, thank you, guys. Thank you. I love doing this stuff. You know, I'm a teacher. I mean, I taught for a long time, and I enjoy teaching. It's just unfortunate that, you know, teachers are worked so hard right now. I can't even imagine trying to teach during this time right now. Thanks, Joy. Okay, I'm going to go back into my white real quick. This is way too bright right here. Yeah, the Verithins, I only have a 24 set, and I just got them, and I have a couple single ones. My husband just picked these up for me. He just randomly picked them up for me for one of the holidays. I can't remember which one. Just handed them to me. He didn't even know I wanted them. He knew I wanted black Verithins because I was out of those, and I usually have a stockpile of those. Those I use for lots. Okay, so I'm just going over stuff, adding a little bit of white because that white is going to cover up the gray. And I'm making the reflections in this area here a little bit more obvious. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Thank you guys. Subscribe, subscribe. Okay, and now I'm going to do the sparkles. Just adding a couple more flecks of white, and then I'm going to go do the sparkles with you guys. And I think we'll call it a day. Sparkles and white, and then I'll be done. That looks pretty good, right? Hi, Selena. You've been around a lot, girl. It's good to hang out with you more. I don't know if you guys saw, I posted on my Facebook page today, Selena and her buddies all did an amazing color along. And they all look so like wildly different from one another. It's really cool. But thank you, girl. I hope you got some sleep. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with as much as I'm going to do in the tail. You could go in and refine it a little bit more, keep on adding some more layers and more layers and more layers, add a couple more darks. And, oh, this one part is bothering me, and then I'm going to stop. Not enough definition here. Hi, Eva. Sorry if I'm missing your comments, you guys. I'm just trying to get this done here so I feel like I've done what I promised I would do. Okay. So still, it's a little gritty here. You could go back in and refine this a little bit more, right? But I do want to show you the sparkles, so I'm going to show you that one more time. All right, here we go. Alcohol that I've put in a little container, a film container, if any of you are old enough to have film containers. And I have the pointed cotton swabs, which are for makeup applicator cotton swabs. They're made by Q-Tip. And let's see, what colors am I doing here? I'm doing pink. I am using my Gelly Rolls, right? Where's my pink Gelly Roll? Must be in the box. Ah, here it is. Actually, I think this Gelly Roll is called Rose. Film containers. Like when I tell my kids about film, they're like, huh? Okay, so I'm using this Rose right now. And for this one here, I'm going to show you how this one looks here, and then you'll see. So for this one here, you can sort of see, can you see it sparkling here? So I don't have any big chunky sparkles there. I have, like I did over here, I did like the individual flecks. So here's how I do this. I know I'm aging myself. So I'm adding a little bit, and I can either smear it just by doing that, or I can try it with a little bit of alcohol. Now, some of the brands work better with alcohol. Some of them work better without. If you have a drier marker, sometimes it's too much and it'll leave like that darkness that the alcohol sometimes leaves. So just be mindful, test it out on something else first. So if you've spent all this time working on this, I wouldn't do it directly on here first. Test it out on something else first. So I'm kind of going in between these little creases and doing it there. You guys see how that, look at the sparkles. You see that? But I always have a tester page, and that's something else I want to tell you guys. Print out two, do a little section, and try doing it that way so you don't mess it up. I know some artists, I have some colorist friends that do that as well. So so that they don't mess it up. And then the other thing you could do, if you don't want to use the pink, or you could do a combination, hopefully it's over here, yes, it is over here, good, is I have my clear Gelly Roll. And I did post these ones on my Amazon influencer page, which shows you all of the stuff I use. It explains it all and everything. So if you guys want to go there, I think the girls have a link. This set is on there. These come in a 3-pack and they're not expensive. But that's what I recommend. You can use any kind of gel pens you want, but I don't know of other ones that do clear like this. So that is one of the reasons that I recommend these. There are other brands though that some of my other colorist friends use. So I'm just dotting this on here real quickly. This is clear. Remember, it's clear. I'm using a Q-tip. I'm going to do it without the alcohol first and show you guys. So you can kind of see. Can you see the sparkles? Isn't that cool? So you could do a combination of clear and color, and it just really kind of brings it to life. So I'm going to do, oh, so this is what I was going to tell you guys. So I used the green, a little bit of the green. I used it here to really intensify that color. Okay. So you guys can kind of see that green really popping now. You don't have to do it everywhere. I would prefer not to do it everywhere. The other thing you can do, if you want to intensify a color a little bit, and do this very carefully, is you can use a tiny little bit of a neon color and a couple little dots, just a couple, and kind of blot them out. So that way you do have a very subtle effect of a brighter color there without going overboard. I have here, I can do it in the pink too. I love these Gelly Rolls. You guys can use whatever you want. I know people who use SuperDoodles. I know people who use the At You, the Copic ones. See how this just made it darker around here, though? You have to be careful of that. Hi, Rebel. So, cool, right? Okay, now one last thing, and then I'm going to call it a day. Oh, maybe two last things. I think I'll put a little purple in there too, just to... So I'm using most of the colors in this pack, which I love the colors that they put in here. This one is like a violet-y, purpley color. So I'll use a little bit in here. I'm going to do it in the dark spots though. And be careful because you don't want to contaminate with your... I went a little heavy there. And a little will go a long way. So you might still have some on your Q-tip. So there's the purple. Okay, now last little bit, as I did on this other one, just to show you guys. You can use, I have a white Gelly Roll. I also have a white Uniball. And is it going to work or not? Yes, it's working a little. This, for some reason, these don't last a real long time. But if you really want to pump up that glossy look, right next to the darker areas, I'm going to add, I might have to go get my Gelly Roll if this doesn't work. Couple little flecks. Oh, I'll be done soon, babe. I will be done soon, I promise. Like literally 2 minutes. Hi guys, if you're just coming in, we're just finishing up. I think I did a little too much there, but we're just finishing up our mermaid tail, sparkly glittery. And I did a little bit of this here yesterday too. You could add a couple little bits here. I like the Gelly Roll whites too, but they're very milky. This one puts out a little less. And I'm going to put a little bit right here. Never too much sparkle. You're a girly girl. Oh, I got a little bit of sparkle on here for you guys today. So you can see it really gives it that slick, shiny look, right? Aw, thanks, Lulu. It's fun. And I discover little things along the way as I'm working too, you guys. I am, you know, I'm a teacher, but you learn as you do. All right, I think that looks pretty decent now. I would probably add a little bit more color to these little areas here because I didn't add quite enough, but you guys can do that. But that looks like a sparkly mermaid tail, right? I feel much better now that I've done a more completed version of this for you. Didn't want to leave you hanging. I hope some of you guys have tried it. If not, I hope you will. And if you try it, tag me. I want to see what you do. I want to see your accomplishments. I'm a proud mama bear. Cool? And you can see I didn't put glitter everywhere. And that's, you know, you can choose to do that if that's what you want to do. It's just a little bit different of an approach for this one. So anyway, I hope you guys have had fun and you feel like you've learned what you needed to learn here. And I feel like I did a better job now, so I feel better about it. And yeah, I'll do more stuff for you. I just have to get my studio better organized. And now that my portion of MERMAY is out of the way, it's a little less pressure on me, so I'll be able to do that. And yeah, so thank you for stopping by. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to share this in your groups, I welcome you to. And I will try to schedule something a little bit more regularly. I know I need to do that. So anyway, take care, guys. And Lisa Matrakin is on now if you want to go to her her live. She's streaming tonight too. So anyway, thank you guys, and I will hopefully see you soon. Thank you to my mods for being here. Linda, Belinda, Abby, you guys are awesome. And enjoy the rest of MERMAY. I'm sure there's going to be some more little surprises along the way. Don't be surprised if you find a surprise. But enjoy, okay, guys? Be well.